election headquarters, and we're following very closely the counting that is currently underway in Sene West, where we understand in the next few minutes a declaration will be made there on the ground when it comes to that disputed parliamentary results. And the case went to court today. The court threw out the case of the MPP. It's back now in the hands of the Electoral Commission. Right now, we understand that the counting has now resumed, almost about being wrapped up. We'll be bringing you that official declaration of who actually won the Sene West constituency parliamentary results. The reason why that particular result is so central to how Parliament pans out in the next 4 years is that as we stand right now, according to the Electoral Commission, the MPP has 137 seats and the NDC has 136 seats. There's one independent candidate, right? The Senate seats will largely decide how this plays out in Parliament as to the spread of the seats. The NDC, we know, has 136 seats currently. The independent candidate has told us yesterday that he will sit with the MPP side. That means that they will have 138 in the House. The NDC is looking keenly to win the Sene West parliamentary seat, which is currently being counted. I want to patch in for you, John News, because the conversation is happening. There's a lot of haggling there. Both parties have sent in their big guns on the ground. The John Student Kitia is there for the NDC, and I've seen the Okra MP Dambotre also there for the NPP. And there's a lot of haggling and back and forth happening right now as the Electoral Commission counts the final ballots. In fact, that missing ballot box contents has now been counted already and will be added to the entirety of the constituency results that have already been counted. Let's take you there now to the grounds there in Sene West, where the counting is underway.
In the counting of those ballots there, we're told that the Electoral Commission there is getting ready to declare the results. My colleague Erastus Saridonko has been monitoring for us the process since morning. He joins me on the phone right now. Hello, Erastus.
Hello, Gifty.
Right, Erastus, what is happening right now?
So after a long process of going through to ensure that the disputed ballot box, its contents are opened in agreement with all parties involved, and counting began, they then cross-checked all the leaflets in the ballot books to ensure that there's no overvoting. And when all parties were satisfied, they now added it to the entire collated results of Sene West constituency, and they've calculated that. The calculation is what they were doing right now. I must say that they have finished calculating. The initial figures I'm seeing here, and this will be confirmed by the Electoral Commission soon, is that the NPP currently has 13,100. 13,100 for the NPP. The NDC has 13,116. 13,116. And so we are expecting that the Electoral Commissioner will declare the results in due time for the winner of the Sene West parliamentary election. So currently, we are waiting for them to input all the data and then do the formal declaration here at the Techiman Divisional Headquarters of the police.
Well, Erastus, so as we speak, I want us to just take our viewers and our listeners who have not followed the process back a little bit. Earlier, there was a court case. Now, this when they went to court, I want you to bring us up to speed on what happened prior in court, which led to the counting of this particular polling station as we wait for the EC to declare the final results.
Right, so let me fill you in before the EC comes in. You know that this disputed polling station, that is Dato Bato polling station, somebody attempted to snatch the ballot box. That person has been jailed. it led to the NPP going to court to put an injunction on the process. That's the further collation of the Sene West results. And so it was suspended for a while. Now today, the court ruled that it dismissed the NPP's further continued to put in the NPP's injunction on the process and asked the Electoral Commission to go back and continue with the collation and further declaration of the results. They came in, got this particular disputed ballot box from the Divisional Police Headquarters cells, where padlocks had been put on it by all the stakeholders, the NDC, the MPP, and the EC. So they brought it out, counted the ballots in there, and at the end of the day, 175 ballots went to the NDC, 148 went to the NPP, the NDP had one. Now they went ahead to add this figure to the entire collated results of Sene West to now get to see who won this constituency. So after calculating the entire results, we now have the NPP with 13,100 votes. And we have the NDC having 13,116 votes. So a difference of 16 votes between the two parties. So though the Electoral Commissioner is yet to officially declare winner of this election, I can say that the NDC's parliamentary candidate won this election.
Well, those are still provisional results. They're coming in from the Sene West constituency, where my colleague Erastus Asari Donko is standing by for us. If you're just joining us both on radio and on TV, it has been the disputed Sene West ballot box that has been counted upon the order of a high court, circuit court that sat on this particular case. Now, as Erastus says, those figures have been put together. The initial figures from the polling station was 275 for the NDC, 148 for the NPP, 1 for the NDP. Those have all been computed, including the previous ballot boxes that were counted earlier on election day. NPP so far 13,100 votes, NDC so far 13,116. As we speak, we're waiting for Electoral Commission Electoral Commission head there to announce or to declare those results. Erastus, we know that the parliamentary candidates, some of them have also showed up there. Are they close by, and can we talk to them?
Hello, Gifty.
Right, Erastus.
Yeah, so let me briefly speak with the legal representative of the NDC, lawyer Kojoga Daudu, and let's find out why were we in court today?
Yeah, we were in court because the petition that has been filed by the MPP parliamentary candidate that he should be declared as a validly elected member of parliament. However, we said that the petition was incompetent, it was defective, and while they came today, led by lawyer Obri Wahin, they agreed with us in the position of the law we have espoused. And they said that, yes, they agree that they should have declared before coming to court. So the court threw them out, and the relief was taken off. Then court also multed them to pay costs of 14,000, and saying that they deliberately, they came and have wasted our time. It was frivolous petition. So the court agreed with us and also said nobody can stop the Electoral Commission, a constitutionally mandated body, not to go ahead with its work. So that is why when we had finished, then at the bar, that is the lawyers, we agreed that let's go and meet the Electoral Commission and see the way forward. It was there that they decided, the NPC decided that they are coming to the divisional command of Nkechima for the ballot to be counted.
So we know what has happened afterwards. I do have the NDC candidate for Sene West currently here. How do you feel at the moment?
Well, at the moment, I think I have to thank my God. I have to thank
each and everyone, my lawyers, Dr. Agauda, Professor Jare, Dr. Lawyer Jima, the General Secretary, being my party agent today, Honorable Colin Dauda, Honorable Dr.
Let me hold on because Gifty, hold on for us. They are now taking the entire results inside the Divisional Police Headquarters, followed by all the stakeholders. I'm trying to enter the room to get to know what is going to happen from there, because we are waiting for the declaration, formal declaration to be done. The EC has entered the charge office of the Divisional Police Headquarters with the agents of the party, and the security is tight here at the entrance of the charge office, and they are not allowing anybody in, with the exception of some media houses. I'm trying to weave my way in there to find out what is going on inside the room.
Right.
But what I can report in here is that the ballot box, the results, and the various stakeholders, the FDP, the NDC, have been ushered into the charge office, and some people have been prevented.
Erastus, while you wave your way into the location of the ballot boxes as we speak, I want to just find out, initially from some of the videos that you sent us, we saw the NPP's representative Dan Boche, in a banter, a sort of a banter with the Electoral Commission officer and then the NDC's representative, Masiedu Nketia. What was that about?
Well, in fact, the exchanges many, in the process they were going through, and so at every point in time when they disagree on something, he and Mr. Dangote had exchanges. They disagreed a lot on a number of issues. So okay. I do not know which one you are referring to particularly, but a number of issues cropped up right from when they entered the premises here, the divisional command. The NDC disagreed that indeed they should count the ballot papers in the box because, according to Mr. Kitia, they did not go to court to count. And so it became a heated argument until they both agreed that they should count it, and counted it. On the line, as the votes were being counted, there were times when if the certain part of the process is not transparent to Damboche, he will protest. Mr. Asiedun Ketia will back in. It will become some, argument, and then they will sort it out. They will move on. That is how it's been like throughout the entire process.
Right, Erastus Sasaridonko there. He is at the location. We're waiting for the declaration of the result by the Electoral Commission in the Sene West constituency. As you know, we've had to do a counting of one of the ballot boxes that was outstanding. Now, that ballot box was snatched, as you may be well aware of. It was snatched, but it was retrieved subsequently. When it was retrieved, the NPP's seal was broken, and so there was an injunction on it that from the NPP. They did not want the votes in that box to be counted because their seal was broken. But the seal of the EC was intact. The seal of the NDC was intact on that particular box. Now, when they went to court today, as you head there, the court decided that the votes in that ballot box should be counted, and that has just been done. The NDC secured 275 in that particular ballot box. The NPP had 148. The NDP had 1. And those figures have been added to the previous numbers that we had earlier on the day of election. Those 3 people you see on your screen, if you're watching TV right now, are the people who represented the various parties. Joseph Kuma Mackay for the NPP, Kwame Ampofu-Chumesi for the NDC, and of course Kwame Ampofu-Chumesi was also the same candidate for the party in 2016. Joseph Mackay Kuma was the representative for the NPP in 2016 as well. Right now, NDP had a representative, Caesar Pomeka, as you can see there. In 2016, by the way, the had a representative, Dramani Menu, and then the CPP also had Daniyau Mohammed. As we can see, it's boiled down or whittled down to 3. And out of the 3, we're looking at 2 of the candidates now. Right now, we're waiting for the declaration of the result. Let's go to Erastus Saridonko right now, who is on the ground. Erastus, what is happening on the ground right now? Go ahead and tell us.
Currently, a number of party representatives, both parties, NPP, NDC, are locked behind the charge office of the divisional police headquarters. Now we have the regional electoral commissioner in there. We had a number of NPP, NDC, Johnson Kitia is in there, Mr. Damboche is in there, a number of the NPP guys are in there. I am locked behind the door and I'm not allowed to enter the charge office where they are to know exactly what is going on in there. We've asked them, they said they were going to come out for the declaration, but they need to finish what they are doing inside there. There are quite a number of party activists outside who want to go in there, but they are prevented from doing so, and that is why we hear the exchanges outside, because they've been prevented from going in there. The police are saying that there are too many people in there, and what they are doing needs to be done before they can do the declaration in a few minutes. But I must say, security here is very tight. A number of armed policemen at the frontage of the charge office at the moment, where the EC and the other dignitaries are inside. We have quite a number of armed military men outside here in the perimeter of the divisional police headquarters. When you go out, we have armed men outside as well. And outside the walls of the divisional headquarters, you have a number of supporters of the NDC and NPP also gathered in there, anxious to get to know who won the Sene West parliamentary elections. But as I told you, for the figures we've been told, and we are here as they write this on the pink sheet, 13,100 for the NPP, 13,116 for the NDC, and that is what we have at the moment. So if we are waiting for them to come out of the room, and then we'll be able to, but I'll still try again to see if I can enter the room to see what is happening in there.
And while you try, Erastus, I want to find out who was allowed into the room. Do you know?
Yes, I know the agents of the NDC were allowed in there, including Johnson Kitia and some of the lawyers of the NDC. Also, we have Damboche and some of the NPP agents as well allowed in there. The EC is in there, and some of the other returning officers of the EC are also in there, plus the regional police commander and his men are also in there as well.
Erastus, for purposes of our listeners on radio right now who cannot be there and see what is happening there, describe to us what is happening there right now.
Well, so let me start from outside the walls of the divisional police headquarters. Quite in number, the place is full with 4x4 vehicles, a number of them. The Land Cruisers, D8 Land Cruisers, full to the brim, and they represent the dignitaries and officials who have gathered in here. A number of supporters have also been allowed, and they are outside the perimeter, gazing deep into the perimeter, observing tightly and waiting anxiously for results. They are also gathered in their numbers over there. When you enter the perimeter, we have armed military men at the gate. They are manning the gate at the moment. And then we have a number of journalists and party agents, supporters, sympathizers, also under the mango tree here. And then when you descend down to where we did the collation, the frontage of the divisional police headquarters has been cordoned off with EC tapes, and there is a table in the cordon where the collation was done, the counting and everything was done. Then you enter the charge office proper. In front of the charge office, we have armed policemen who are currently manning the gate and not allowing anybody to enter. We have the operations commander standing in command, in front of the armed policemen, We have a number of journalists who were not able to go inside. They are also standing in front of the charge office as well. So that is the scenery as we have here in the divisional headquarters. Let me see if I can. Well, I've been told to stay off, but I'll try to see if I can still enter and get to fill you in on what is happening.
And I can imagine what the situation is right now. Erastus would like to find out what is supposed to happen next. We know that we're waiting for the EC and those who have entered the charge office to come out and declare the results. Is that it?
Exactly. What is supposed to happen next? And I can just imagine what is going on in there is that we are waiting for just one thing. Everything has been done. The agents for the two parties have signed the result sheets, the pink sheets. They are content with it. Those who are disappointed already have left. So in there, I am thinking that they are going to sit down with all parties and let them agree that, yes, they are going to declare the results and everybody will stay calm and go his way. That's what I'm thinking. Because that is the only thing that is left now for the declaration, official declaration, to be done here by the regional EC boss, and then everybody will go his separate ways. But right here in front of the divisional headquarters, they agreed, and you could see both parties agreed that, yes, whoever has won, and they were content with it because it went through a painstaking process, I must tell you, Gifty, because to count the ballot sheets, the torn ballot sheets from the book, one by one, the pieces, one by one, to ensure that they tally with the results in the ballot box, was a painstaking exercise that they have to go through. At a point in time when they were done, somebody will say, no, I missed the count, let's go over, and they will go over all that again, about 400 and something ballots. Papers being counted one by one. So after the process, they all agree that yes, they've both taken themselves through a rigorous exercise that has proven that yes, whatever results they have come up with is okay. And so I did not see any protest from any of the parties, and they've now been ushered into the charge office where the regional police commander is in there. The regional EC boss and his two returning officers are also in there. The agents of the NDC, Johnson Esidun Kitia, lawyer Kujuga Adaudu is also in there. The operations command for the Techiman regional, the Bruno East regional police command is also in there. Quite a number of the NPP guys, Damboche, and the other guys are also in there. So my view is that perhaps they're going to talk to all the stakeholders to ensure that there is peace, and then they will come out to declare officially the results for everybody to have a feel.
Right. Erastus, I know that you're trying to still make your way, some way, somehow into this space and see if we can get to understand what is happening there. We also know that there are scores of supporters who have massed up at this particular police station. I'll just talk to Evans Mensah, head of our political desk here, who has just joined me in studio. But Erastus, as I talk to Evans, hopefully we can get to hear some of the supporters who have gathered there on their thoughts of what is happening so far. Erastus Asari Donko in Sene West. Right, Evans, you're welcome. It's good to have you. I know that you've been monitoring this from afar, behind the scenes as well. What are you reading so far?
So it's good that Erastus has given us an update on the counting, which is I guess this is what it all boils down to. We're still waiting for the Electoral Commission to sort of endorse and then declare the formal results. But the history of this particular constituency in terms of the way he voted over the years and what is panning out right now, even with the provisional figures that we have, makes the outcome very interesting. It appears it's on a knife's edge with 16 votes separating the two parties as of now. Of course, we hope, again, I'm curious why, and Erastus, of course, because of this playing out and it's unfolding pretty fluid, we don't have clarity yet why they've taken the entire process behind closed doors, so to speak. He says he's actually been locked out.
Yes, he has. Evans, I need to just jump in there. Sorry to interrupt you briefly. Erastus is speaking to some of the people there on the location. Let's listen to them.
So as we are here to actually witness justice. Nothing else, justice.
Well, besides this, to witness justice and what will mean justice for you?
Justice talks about the will of the people, and as we all know, that the sovereignty of this country is from the people. And for when the people speak, it must reflect, and that is what we mean by justice. Right.
I have another gentleman here. I think you get and you were at the court as well. What is your motivation?
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, I'm almost fine with Dumba. My motivation is that we have gone to vote. Sene West people have gone to vote. The NPP people are contesting the results. But when you look at the history since 1996, the NPP has never won the Sene West seat. So I don't know, first of all, what motivated them to take the issue to court. But today the court said that the electoral commissioner will go and do his job. So that has pushed us to come here for counting to be done.
And you've been observing the process right from the start. I could see you standing behind this barricade and peeping through, seeing everything. Are you satisfied with the process?
So far, so good. I can say that I'm satisfied. But the number of people that tags that you can see here, I was actually shocked when I saw them in the morning. What we all talk about is peace, 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 peace. But if we look at SDG goal system, we talk about peace, justice, and strong institutions. It means that if there can be peace, there should be justice, and the institutions should be strong. So I don't think, first of all, that there is a need for us to get military men, policemen, party vigilante men at this place. As you know, that court will hold and will count, and at the end of the day, who will win, and who will lose, will lose.
So that is another gentleman staring and peeping through the fence into the compound of the divisional police headquarters. Quite a number of them standing outside here. I would like to speak to some of them as well.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Why have you been here? I took the first morning. Why are you here?
So we are here to support our brother, the MP elect. You know, he's going to win, but due to circumstances beyond his control, we have been brought here to witness the counting of a particular police station. Though I'm from Sichuan, I'm an NDC man, and I have the obligation as an NDC person to come here to support the MP of Sene West.
So currently, what are you waiting for?
We're waiting for the declaration because we have observed, and I can tell you for sure, though I'm at the back of the building, but I can tell you for sure, after the coalition, I think the MP will win back his seat.
So you had another gentleman in here. Expectations are high. They are all peeping through the barricade and waiting anxiously that any moment the EC and his entourage will come out and they will do the official declaration for them to have their seal.
Yeah.
Okay. Erastus, I'll be coming back to you shortly as we all wait. But Evans Mensah, head of our political desk, is here with me in the studio. Evans, you were making a point about the process.
Yes, I mean, Erastus has told us, as it keeps unfolding in Sene West, that after the counting of this disputed ballot box, they added it to the remainder of the collated results prior to today. And then they took the entire process behind closed doors. As in, they went in the inner recesses of the police station where they were. And he himself and other journalists who are following this have been locked out of the process. I mean, knowing the way our election processes had gone, or the way the tradition surrounding very open public declaration of results, especially at the collation center, it's just my hope that the final official declaration of the winner will be done the way all other collation center constituency results are done, as in the full glare of the public. The commission of officer will emerge from the inner recess of the police head station there and declared for everybody to see, with the media monitoring and covering it live. especially when this is disputed, right?
Yeah.
Especially when this counting is as a result of a court case.
Yeah.
You won the entire, they did the first part of it in the open, which is the counting.
Yes.
And then somehow they've taken it inside. The key part is the official declaration, right? In fact, we had the NDC candidate on your show, sounding as if he's won it, right? I mean, of course, from the provisional figures, it appears that there's a 16-vote margin between himself and the MPP candidate, putting him in the lead. But we have to still wait for the Electoral Commission's officer to make the official declaration. I hope that will happen in the full glare so we can hear and settle the dispute about this. But I was making the point about the history of Sene West. I am surprised that it's come down to a knives edge contest in this year's elections. Because if you Sene West is a stronghold of the NDC. They've always won that seat, not more than 51%. I mean, the least they've gotten in terms of that particular constituency since 1996, as my checks show, is 51%, which is 2016. But if you look at the trend, they've been on the downward trajectory. I mean, from a high of in 1996 of 79.8%, they've consistently lost votes, but they still won it, right?
Yeah.
Till their lowest victory, margin of victory, percentage terms of 51.9% in the last elections. Now it's come down to 16 votes. Now, in real terms, if you look at the actual vote difference of the 2016 elections, it came down to 1,482 votes. That was the difference between this NDC incumbent, who is still the candidate,
Kwame
Tumisi. He won it with, this was a marginal seat, right? It's 1,482 votes the last time. Now we are talking about 16 votes, possibly being the margin he will win it by. And so I'm looking at that and I'm thinking that that sort of closeness this time either will show that either the MPP had done a very good work on the ground and had managed to close the gap quite significantly, or maybe the candidate himself had waned in terms of his ability to bring in votes as he did in the last elections. But a lot of things were at play, right? And it comes down to this ballot box that was snatched.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it sort of cast the entire process in doubt. It's actually good, right, that the court had made a pronouncement. That is how disputes are resolved in a democracy. And now the EC had the power to go ahead after the court's declaration to do the counting. All we await is this formal declaration. But the question really to ask is, why is Sene West important? Why are we spending time talking about this?
Now,
because that is a seat that if NDC wins, puts them dead center, equally divided in Parliament, 137 seats for the MPP, 137 seats for the NDC, with one independent. I mean, so that is why the seat is so critical in how in the sort of the definition of the fourth Parliament's architecture the eighth Parliament architecture going forward. And no wonder it's so keenly contested. And you see the caliber of people both parties have dispatched to be their agents on the ground, reflecting the importance of Sene West. You have an MPP stalled, as in Damboche himself there on the ground.
Yeah.
You have Johnson student getting himself because they appreciate how critical this is. We know that the independent candidate says is going to sit with the MPP, right? But that is how close this is going to be. If the NDC wins this, but